Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. Today is the Daily Color, episode 224. We are on the third row of mushroom scenes. We are using the Castle Arts Soft Touch, using a limited palette, same colors as was used in rows 1 and 2. So we're just going to get right to it. I am actually doing a little bit of this coloring this morning before the pool. I have coloring class this evening and I want to make sure I stay ahead of the game. I have a funny poll story. I could not believe that I went out to the poll last night to see how the votes were coming, and now Brutfuner Squares is tied with Prismacolor. So, I was thinking that since it was going to be Prismacolor, I had somebody ask about a conversion chart. I think I'm going to color the houses. There's 3 of them. I will do them all right now. Anyhow, she has Starjoy Gold and some Prismacolors, and she was asking if there was a conversion chart for Starjoy Gold to Prismacolor, and to help her pick her colors, and I cannot find one anywhere. So I don't really see any Starjoy Gold conversion charts that are free. So I think I'm going to do a conversion chart for it. I might even do both the Brutfuner Squares and the Prismacolors. So I have the sheet layout done. I did go with a little bit brighter middle blue because the yesterday's colors I did not pick a bright enough blue, I don't think. So the house and the clothing, which you can actually see up here, they look more denim-like. So we will see if this middle color, oh, and I didn't even show you my colors. Pardon me. Okay, colors are light to dark, cobalt, turquoise, sky blue, and indigo light. I think between the Castle Arts Gold and the Soft Touch, I like the Soft Touch a little bit better, and it's for one reason only. It's because the golds have a lot of crumbs. Lots of crumbs. I don't know why. I don't think it's the way I use them. I think it's just something that they do. And I prefer a less messy coloring experience. I am going to get the shadows a little darker. After coloring larger images, it's kind of fun to go back to smaller. It makes me wonder, not that probably anybody other than me goes through a book start to finish, but it does make me wonder if part of Johanna Basford's logic for the layout of the book is to have variety if you were to go from start to finish. Who knows? I saw on Instagram that she did some something with Emily Illustrator. I hope I'm saying this right. So I need to catch that and see what that was all about. Okay, now we're going to go in with the burgundy 2 pinks. These are the shortest ones, these 2 pinks in this set. This set, I own a new set and I bought a used set because the price could not be beat. This one has a, Purple Deep has a damaged barrel, so I can't tell you the number, but I will dig up the number and it will be on the description of the video. And I'm doing it backwards, aren't I? Consistency is key. So we've got Bengal Rose Light 83, Bengal Rose Deep 85, and Purple Deep, number I can't read. And this color combo, I did not opt for 4, I just did 3. Every one of these mushrooms is going to get a little bit of pink at the bottom. I actually could zoom in even closer, couldn't I? There. I have some stickles behind this mushroom. These are not the sharpest pencils. I would prefer this to be in the middle. It's just easier for my hand. If I leave it over to the right, then my left hand has to reach across and it gets in the way. That was the darkest. Now I'm moving to the middle pink. But again, there's just going to be a very little bit. That little guy is going to be very hard. Same with all these. That'll be a good challenge. See if I can get the blend all the way to the yellow. No, sorry, I'm off the page, huh? Maybe this little mini second mushroom will be also pink. I may come back and darken up the underside. Let's try to get the yellows done. And then it's time to go to the pool. This morning it is very humid. The windows have condensation on them on the outside. That's how I know when I open the curtains. If they're covered in condensation, it is going to be very humid. These are just so shallow. Over here, now this time I did not pick 2 colors of salmon, and I might want to grab a second one before I sit down for the second sitting. So lemon yellow 5, golden yellow deep 6, and flesh deep 18, and there is a lighter flesh that I might, oh, that has not even been sharpened. That still could go more. The wood on these pencils is heavier, it's a denser wood, and when it sharpens they sound different than the last 2 sets. The Evazar and the Holbein sounded very easy when they were going through getting sharpened, but these, I can hear the pitch on my sharpener is a lower pitch, so it's working harder. So when I come back, we're going to do the stems, the grass, the roofs, and the dots. But like I said, I've got a jam-packed day, so I wanted to get this going. I have learned I do not like to color after coloring class, which is more like 8 o'clock at night. I prefer to do my coloring earlier in the day. All right, you guys won't know this, but I'm going to leave and go to the pool and do some prep and then sit back down and finish this. And for you guys, it will just be an instant. In a flash, I will be back. And in a flash, I am back. The pool was great, as it always is. Wednesday is Zumba day, so we dance. And yes, if you're curious if any men are there, there are always maybe 3 to 5 men. And they have a great time. So, I did pull 2 pencils. I grabbed a light color. I know that these the flesh colors have changed. So 19 is no longer called flesh, and the other one is called dark flesh. So these are flesh deep. So I grabbed the lighter version, and then I also, in looking at the colors, I felt in comparison to the pinks above that this was a little on the purple side, so I have pulled out a 4th pink. So now I am going to continue on our merry way with the 2 flesh colors. I will take this light flesh and I'm going to do the roofs. And I do see that now that I am no longer in a big hurry to see if I can get the base down, I will be able to darken some of the mushroom tops. So that was the dark. Oh, this is the dark. Okay, got it. The tips do have different colors, but when I'm looking at them individually, for whatever reason, I can't easily see which one is the darkest. Alright, so I brightened up these little mushrooms. I think what will be best to brighten them up is the pink. So let's do, this roof is going to be green, and this roof gets to be and the stems. And then I will pop back and darken I brought out magenta is the pink color. And we've got a bunch of crazy stems here. I think this one is one of my favorites. Of all of the mushroom scenes, for some reason, the whimsical curving of the stems is appealing to me. I'm just taking the lighter peach color and getting that middle area. I don't think I darkened this up either. I like how when you take this flesh color and you blend it into the yellow, the brighter yellow, you get a nice orange. All right, I'm gonna just grab this magenta. It's also a shorty. I think that somebody who had this did a 3 pink blend on some project, or maybe they just liked them, because here's all 3, light, medium, and dark, and how stubby they are. Of course, I'm zoomed in, but they are very short. All right, so magenta. Let's see if this brightens up the mushroom tops as I would like. Yep, that is much better. There's going to be lots of blue mushroom spots. It's kind of fun when you mix a page with a variety of sets, but you want to use as close to the same colors as you can. That adds its own complexity. These are a slower pencil. I'm gonna say that getting the vibrancy out of them, I know that these are wax, but they still feel more like a layering pencil. You just have to kind of keep at it, and every layer you put on, the colors deepen. You fill in the tooth. Again, I am not a heavy-handed colorist, so if you had a heavy hand, oops, I went totally out of the lines there. You probably could get the color to come out way sooner than I can. But I finally feel that this magenta is the bright, vivid color I was after. Okay. Oh, we forgot the little tiny stems. I am going to do these very quickly. Then we get to move on to a different color. We're going to move on to green, and oh, I have two little pink, teeny tiny pink, the top of that chimney. We have all three doors. This is the lightest pink, by the way. This is the middle pink, but not the magenta, because remember, now we have 4 pinks. So yes, with these shorties, I think there's about 5 short pencils in this used set that I bought. But I do have a brand new set that I bought in the case that I can swap so in the colors as I use them up. There are a few sets that I have bought multiples of now. I have multiples, maybe not 2 full sets, like this is 2 full sets. I have 2 full sets of the Brute Funer squares. Those were my first budget pencils, and I fell in love with them. Moving on, oh, I forgot a door. Fell in love with them and immediately bought another set because I had bought them for a specific task, and I wanted to leave that set labeled with their Prismacolor counterparts. And let's see, what was I going to do? The frame of this door is going to be the darkest color. I can make it some magenta and some of the darkest color. It's not often I do full mock-ups, but for some reason, on this page with these little mushroom scenes, I have sat down and really enjoyed making little mock-ups of each of the scenes all the way. I think the only so it feels like I already did these windows. I look at this and I go, how come the windows aren't done? I did them. Oh, I did them on my scratch sheet where I play with colors and such. A lot of times I'll play with colors. I will blend out a color, but I won't actually color the scene. So I'll show you when I am done tomorrow. I will share my, and I hope I remember that I said I would show you my mock-up. Sharpening the purple boot. Again, this one has a very flawed piece of wood that has been painted over, and then, of course, the imprint with the silver foil did not work. I have the yellow in my hand. It's almost like these four, for whatever reason, feel to me more intricate than the other ones, even though it's like because they have more mushrooms, they are a bit more time consuming. I'm going to grab that lightest pink. My right hand, is filling up with pencils. Yeah, so you definitely really have to, if you want to fill in that tooth. Right now what I'm doing is burnishing the little doors with the lightest pink, which is a way that I like to finish off and fill in do that last little bit. Medium heavy pressure. Smooth everything out. Get the blend nice and the transitions very smooth. Okay, I believe I am completely done with the pinks. Okay, continuing on. I own 1.5 sets of Black Widow because I found a screamin' deal on eBay that completed my set, and also it came in a very cute case. It's a three slot case, I believe, which isn't my favorite, but the scene on it was very nice, and the price was really good. Okay, so now we're back to our greens. Not back to, for me it's back to the greens. For you guys, it's the first time seeing them. Emerald green, which typically is darker, is actually the lighter, and then Castle Green Deep is my darker, so 109 and 57. And, oh, and I forgot to do the light. I'll have to come back and fix that. I have not, as of yet, felt the need to go with any more than 2 greens, though I think I mentioned maybe going deeper to the dark green. So in the this one I thought might look nicer with the darker, but see how I did blue darker? So I feel that worked well. But now that I am going to work on the roof of the house being green, this is where I might actually want to go one darker. So we'll see. That's the nice thing. I'm making up the rules as I go. So back to the big edition. As of when I woke up this morning, maybe even in the evening last night, Prismacolor and Brutfuner are in a tie. And the conversion charts out there already have Brutfuner and Prismacolor. My favorite one, My Colorful Country Life, Karen, has a wonderful conversion chart that has 12 sets of pencils. So, like I said, my main thing is Star Joy Gold. I have a subscriber who has asked for the matching colors, the Prismacolor to Star Joy. And then I'm thinking, well, since Star Joy doesn't have a lot of conversions, if I'm now going to possibly be doing the Brutfuner, I might print out another little conversion chart sheet, and I will do one with all of the equivalent Star Joy Gold to Brutfuner, and then the other sheet will be Star Joy Gold to Prismacolor. I'm trying not to get in the business of the conversion charts because I love that there are some really good ones that are very thorough. But I don't mind spending the time. I do have the time. It will delay a little bit when I get started on the big. And then when I work on the big, I really want everybody to know that there are these conversion charts out there that are very good, very thorough. And you should not be not coloring because you don't have that pencil set. I firmly believe that you can use whatever pencils you own and have just as good a time as the person who is sitting there doing the color along with the same set as the colorist. So there is zero need to run out and buy more pencils. Let us crazy colorist addicted people get all of the different pencils. And even crazier, every set of pencils I get, which again, the biggest disclaimer, I do research pencils and I do not buy pencils that get a lot of bad reviews. And I love every set that I own. Even the Crayola, which started out as definitely not a favorite, they do not work well on my paper. They work fantastic in the Johanna Basford paper books, coloring books. So it makes me sad because I love my paper, the Nina Bristol Vellum. So there will be some conversion charts that I will be making if I feel there isn't a good reference. Rachel Henderson has been doing a lot of color conversion charts between one brand and another. And those, I will also, I don't know if I've added those to my references. I need to add that. Okay, we are working on our last green. This is the light green. I see that I am naturally doing more highlights like I have, and I just do it. I don't even think about it. It just happens. I left a little hint of a path on those two doors, which then makes me feel inclined, if I even have one handy, which I don't think I do. I'm looking for a small eraser. So just to bring emphasis to the door, I'm grabbing my Prismascholar, which is just sitting here. Let's see if I can make a hint of a path with this giant eraser. And now I just over drew that line. So we want less green in front of the door. Then back to our final image here. And then we have to do some spots. So I could see how a heavy-handed person might really like this particular set, the Castle Art Soft Touch, because you don't end up getting streaks. You have to work really hard pressure to end up with some streaks that you can't get rid of. So I like that. Even the Brute Funer squares, you can put a layer down too hard if you're not consistent, and then you have a streak or a darker line that you're trying to blend out. And this set would be very difficult to have that happen. Alrighty. I am now ready for blue to finish it off. I have 3 blues. I have to do the dots, so I'm going to sharpen all 3. They are not sharp. I can feel, I already mentioned earlier that the wood on these is pretty tough wood. I can feel it wanting to grab and rotate the pencil, so I have to hold the pencil very firmly. All right, so since it's been, for me, more than a minute, the light is Cobalt Turquoise 48, Sky Blue 46, and Indigo Light 45. But I know for you guys, I was just using these, and you're like, I don't know why she has to tell us the colors again. Let's start over here on the nice big. I grabbed the middle. Let's grab the dark one. I think that circles, these little mushroom spots, I like to keep the amount of darks and lights varied, because in nature they would not all be the same. It's the old trick of making it appear random while still doing somewhat selective placement. Back to the middle one. Which again, this middle one is a bright enough color. I think on the previous set, the middle color was not as bright. I think it was just a little bit darker sky blue color. And yes, I have put all of the pencils away, and I try not to go back. For me, this book is all about moving forward, moving ahead, and not getting bogged down in decisions and complications. And it has really helped me with the freedom of coloring without sweating the details. I mean, I do like making little rules here and there, you know, to challenge myself, but I don't want those rules to slow me or hamper me in any way. Cute. I really like that scene. Of any of these 4 scenes, I've only had one that I felt I needed to do a background, and this cute snaky long stems makes me want to do a blue sky behind them. And I've seen all of the people who do, like, they'll take a circle, they'll take a pencil and they'll draw a nice circle around each of them. Some people will do washi tape. They'll make little square frames. I have seen people make wood frames out of the little tiny flowers that I used the Brute Funer 520 set when I first got it. Some person did a very detailed jewelry box, like a display. And then she even colored those little flowers in a gemstone style to make them kind of glint like they were a hard surface, a hard reflective surface. It was very impressive. Me, I am just right now, it's important to rotate through all my pencils in some fashion to get to know them all. Unfortunately, it means I'm starting to like all of them. I don't even know if I could pick one. I think when I did all of my sets on the circle flowers back, that I had like, I love them, I like them, and they do their job. And the ones that are like at the they do their job would be, you know, like the praying kind of a pencil. But even the prayings, I can do some pretty cool things. I use them a lot, so that has helped me to get to know them and figure out ways to get more out of them. All right, lots of teeny tiny spots. One last set of spots, and then a lamp. And then we're done. And I haven't kept track of time today. This second, I know how much the first sit down was. So we might be a little over and we might be a little under, and I'm okay with either. All right, all that is left to do is a yellow, and we'll grab that magenta. And we have this teeny tiny lantern. So if I ever did want to explore backgrounds, I have hardly done any backgrounds. So this would definitely be one that I could either do circles or squares with some washi to block them off and have it not have a non-background appearance. Let me show you what we've done. All right, so we have finished these 4 cute scenes. I did a little more highlights than I've done. I did a little bit on the top one. I just kind of do it naturally. It just depends. Like here, I thought these looked like there was some sun. I did some white on the snail, light there, but not a ton. And like I said, all my pencils are put away. I put them away immediately after I finish coloring with you guys if I don't have any homework that I've given myself. I see a little fix here. So that is it for the daily color today. Do all of the YouTube things like share, comment, and consider subscribing. And tomorrow I am very excited to see how the prangs work and if I even have the same colors, these same bright colors. I believe I will be limited on my ability to replicate exactly, but let's just see what Prang can do with their 50 colors that I have. So join me if you are inclined. The nice thing is you can join me whenever you want. I've already talked about colored pencil conversion charts. I do have those in the bottom of my description. Is a page of my favorite links that includes conversion chart people for you to support and utilize their tools they have come up with because they are a great resource. And I will see you tomorrow.